So this is the recap for live stream 332, and I had a rather difficult day in the markets today. Pretty much lost the account. I do plan on resetting the account and starting afresh, likely tomorrow. So let's just have a look at the trades that I took here today. On gold, we had a pretty reasonable range of about 51.6. So we weren't trading here as the market started to settle out. Came to the market, went long, and hit the target. Saw this descending resistance, went long, hit the target I did set myself there. After that, in the late afternoon, time I don't normally trade after about 2 Eastern Standard, went short, prices turned around, so decided to get out. As you can see, price went up to the point of control before pulling back, so I had one winner and one loser over there on gold. We can see here, pretty much after we come after 1 Eastern, volatility drops off a little bit. As you can see, the volume falls away as well. We'll have a look over at ES. So over on ES, as I came to the charts, I can see here on the profile, but we had a sell-off pretty early in the morning as we headed towards about 10 a.m. We can see the pickup in volume being higher than at the open at 9:30 a.m. I just moved to the downside. Price started putting in these higher lows and went into this consolidation. So I drew this box here to highlight the range that the market was trading in. So price came up. I identified this as a bit of a low volume area, bit of a low volume node, but prices pulled back. Thought because it's tested a few times, prices may want to continue to the upside. Well, went long, price turned around, decided to exit early, decided to re-enter after that bullish candle. Price came down, lost there as well, so I had 2 losses through there. Price came down to the bottom end of the range. Thought we could see that move back down. Should have just kept the bias that we were possibly reversing, especially after the selling failed to continue after 10 a.m. Came down, chased it a little bit, went short, prices turned around, and eventually I got out here for a loss. Took a bit of a break away from ES. I think I was primarily paying attention to NQ. I had a setup there which would have worked, of course. Price came up. Didn't even notice this until after I had issues with an NQ trade. So we've got a high there. Came up double top there and sold off. Was a possible short setup there. Didn't obviously, of course, take it. As the market started to sell off pretty aggressively here, FOMO'd in short, so went short, and as we can see, price turned around almost immediately. No follow through. Should have been a bit more receptive to the fact that we had sell candles and a large candle possibly means the end of the trend before reverse. So we came down into this consolidation area, down towards our point of control, strong buying off the point of control, and from there prices reversed to the upside. I didn't take any more trades on ES after that loss over there. And finally, we'll have a look at NQ. So over on NQ, again, identify the range on the market. And the first trade taken on NQ pretty much summed the day up. So came in, saw a bullish buy signal right here on this bearish candle with the large wick. Decided to take it. Didn't like the fact that the stop was pretty big, so trailed my stop, was stopped out. Price would have gone on to hit target. Decided to get back in and see if price would retest the highs. So got back in. Price, of course, didn't. Turned around and took a loss there. Then after that, decided to go short to target the wick here. Not part of the trading system. Went short, and of course the target was hit there. Price came down to the bottom of the range through these lows, seeming like it wanted to reverse, so decided to go long. And I believe this might have been I think I trailed into profits here. So went long. I was looking for 18. Price got to 16.75. And as I had trailed my take profits, price came around and stopped me out for a smaller gain. Had a true setup right here at the upper end of the range. Thought there was room up towards the highs. Went long. Price turned around, exited early. Saw this bullish candle, went long again. Price turned around and eventually hit the designated stop. Went short here as prices broke out to the downside, similar to the short over on ES. Went short, price went in my favor. This is when I started reading the chats on YouTube and got somewhat distracted. So what happened was, I believe I exited early. Did I? I believe so. Exited early, thought prices would reverse. My frustration, price continued down. So because it continued down and I exited early out of frustration after being distracted, went short, price turned around. So exited right there, thought prices could turn around to go to the upside. I think this is where I went long. It was. So exited that short, went long, thinking, well, we've got this lower low. Didn't quite break these lows. And over on ES, I had a higher low. So over on ES, through that same period, we had a higher low. Price didn't make a lower low. It made a higher low over on ES. And so I decided to take that trade on NQ. At this point, as the market continued up, I recovered all of the losses I had on the day. It was actually up over 100. Wasn't at the charts. I had this pretty much on the charts saying I was away from the charts. Came back, noticed price was all the way down here. Decided to exit as price came up to the point of control. Felt a little bit of FOMO that I did exit because the original plan was to have the stop down at 97 at the lower end of this boxed range. So exited, price came back down, decided to enter, place some pending orders. Price eventually, of course, we can see in hindsight, came down, took the stop out, so took a loss through there. So it's pretty much a day of lost opportunities. Sold off, similar to what we saw in ES. Saw this big candle, should have been more, rather than chasing the market out of frustration. Went short, as you can see, price reversed strongly. Exited the position. Went long, price came down, got stopped out, went long again. Price went in my favor. Wanted to see a bigger move up towards where the market opened today. Wasn't to be. Price eventually turned around, and here at the end of the day, I exited this position for a small gain. Over on the account, we can see that's that most recent trade there on NQ. We only picked up 7. So across the other trades, we're looking at minus 16, 7. These aren't extraordinary losses. Now this is one of the bigger losses suffered today, 76.5 on NQ. 32, not great. Of course, we had the big win on NQ, which was from the trade taken here, which we exited as prices pulled back. Trade that was taken through here wasn't a true setup, but that was just based on what I saw in terms of the price action across ES and NQ. Smaller losses of 16, 7, 20, 76.5. Did I lose 76.5 twice? No. Oh, it resets it. That's what it is. So the 129, 16.5, lost 29. As you can see, these are just accumulated losses through poor accuracy. 33, not quite getting the accuracy I need. Lost 40. So these cumulative losses slowly bleeding the account out. But there were opportunities to have the account end in profit. Just looking for a bigger profit. That wasn't to be. Market just wasn't going to reverse today. and 22 there. This is one of the bigger losses today. This was a loss that was taken after I re-entered the NQ after exiting by trailing for that small gain. And those were pretty much the trades. So due to the account balance and how I'm collecting the data, I'm not going to continue to trade this account. I'll reset it. So the balance will be a new balance for the next trading session. I may just reset it on the next trading session. And the reason why I do that is for the integrity of the data, because if I do trade the account down further, I'm going to have to reduce contracts, and it's going to affect the size of the average winner and loser, and it's going to not work well for the data I'm collecting at the moment. So finally, I'll bring over the trade performance. Over on the trade performance, we can see here the loss today was minus 66,925, which is not great. Accuracy 35%. That's just not going to cut it for this system. To my surprise, the average win is bigger than the average loss. That was a major surprise. Now, this is where I was aware of it at the time, so I went beyond 5 losing trades. Now, that's a big red flag. That's a big red flag. I had 5 losses, I was aware of it, and I continued to trade, and as you can see, wasn't able to dig myself out of a hole. We can see over on NQ, we added accuracy of 43%, 6 winners, 8 losers, average win being slightly smaller than the average loss. Over on ES, I could not buy a win on ES. 4 trades, 4 losers, 0% accuracy, average loss being 21,718. And over on gold, only took the 2 trades. Winner 16, loser 12.5. I was actually positive on gold to my surprise. And majority of the losses today were on ES, followed by NQ. So the question is, of course, always going to be, what will you do going forward with the new account? Now, in hindsight, I've looked back at the setups, and if I'd have used my default target, would have hit profits there. I wouldn't have been in this trade. I would have taken a long trade through here. That would have hit profit there. So, and more profits through here. I believe this would have likely profit through there as well as we're over there. So it's difficult to abandon a strategy when I haven't completely followed it. So I'm going to stick with this strategy on the new account, and I'll go from there. I think that's what I'll do. I will go from there. So I'll reset the account now. So I'll just hit the gear icon. That's going to bring the account up, and there's the commissions I'll be using. I'm going to reset account. Going to change the balance. And after I do this, all the data will be gone. So just going to reset the account. There we are. I've got a new account. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading. Have a great day.